What's going on, Jerome's beautiful Monday? Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So this week, mandatory minicamp for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, OTA's voluntary portion, it's all gone. Vikings 100% participation, but mandatory is mandatory. Right? Jefferson at voluntary OTA is obviously going to be here for mandatory, and it's good to see. And you see various teams, like there's some consternation, usually contracts, usually this, that, and whatever when it comes to mandatory minicamp. But glad to see the Vikings are in lockstep. Now, Metellus may be holding in, but I have no issues with that at all. And also you'll see the media will always try to sort of shoehorn is like, hey, talk about this player's contract, but there's an unwritten rule: you don't talk about another player's money because you don't want them talking about yours. That's what it comes down to. And various players have utilized the hold in. Danielle Hunter, then he got his deal reworked, became a free agent. Hawkinson with the earache also had a hold in, and then he got extended too. So pay Metellus, pay Josh Oliver, extend Brian O'Neill. Let's go from there. But we talk about practice, and we're one step closer to the season. Mandatory minicamp this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then OTA 3. So OTA 3 is also voluntary. I expect Kevin O'Connell will pardon a lot of the older veterans and really have a couple of strong days for some of the younger guys and the rookies and go from there. But who knows? But it's just good to see them back on the field again, just really getting things done. And it's really starting to set in because every single rep matters, especially with a first-time starting quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, and we'll be good to go. And NFL Nerd is fantastic with the schedule. 13 weeks until week 1. I can't believe it. Like, I was starting to have the football withdrawals, And even though I definitely enjoy the downtime, definitely enjoy summer, getting tan all over, Jan all over, as well as free agency, the draft, and all that stuff. But last week I finally had like a hankering. It's like I could really go for a Titans-Browns Thursday night football game. Yeah, but whatever. But with this, so Packers-Steelers revenge game, or excuse me, Jets and Aaron. Try that again. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers revenge game, playing the Jets. They play the Packers as well. Bring it on, man. Also, Keanu Benton. I wanted Keanu Benton so bad. Pride of Wisconsin, but it is what it is. All right. Also, speaking of Rodgers, the Vikings obviously did not sign Aaron Rodgers. Vikings obviously did not have serious interest in Aaron Rodgers, despite what all the media losers had to say. But Vikes fan page, the Vikings ultimately didn't sign Aaron Rodgers because they saw this as a 3-year window right now to win a championship with a really good quarterback they like on a rookie deal, according to Jeremy Fowler, ESPN. Full trust in quarterback 1. Now, it is 3. To a degree, it's 4. All right, so you do have the 5th-year option for a top 10 quarterback, so there will be a decent chunk of change down the road, and probably going to get the Pro Bowl enhancements as well. But yeah, you do have 3 years right now on paper, on purpose, to really go for that pin, because you can assemble the freaking Avengers around J.J. McCarthy because you're paying him rookie money. All right, so let's get after it, right? And the Lions had their 2-year Super Bowl window. It closed. It gone. All right, but the Vikings right now starting at 3. And also you look at some of the older veterans on the rooster. You look at Ryan Kelly's on a 2-year deal. You look at Brian O'Neill starting to get up there in age as well. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you look at Grenard in 3 years is going to be 30. Andrew Van Ginkel will be well into his 30s as well. So I mean, the time is now. The time is now to strike while Harrison Phillips as well. Like, time to go after the thing right now, because it's okay. I understand we as Minnesota sports fans lowered expectations, but no, you should expect the Vikings to contend for a Super Bowl this year, next year, the year after that, right? Because the Vikings have a great balance of young dudes, a great balance of stars, a great balance of veterans, and this is a primed Super Bowl roster right now. Just is, right? And also, coaching staff, Kevin O'Connell won a Super Bowl with the Rams as OC, and Brian Flores won multiple Super Bowls on the Patriots staff, so got that pedigree. And you got players to be able to get this thing done. So let's go do it. Also, so NFL Network, during the summer, they do players' choices and just replay a bunch of great games. Randomly, I forget who picked it, but of course, it was Vikings-Bills, 2022. Vikings and the Bills were rolling into the game, both with great records. But it was one of those spots where the Vikings got down early, but then Dalvin Cook sparked the comeback, which is fantastic to see. But at the end, so Kirk Cousins was down at the 1, and the quarterback sneak didn't quite work because we can't do the tush push, and also we can't run the ball in the red zone. Yeah, even though I still think Kirk got in. It is what it is. But he was down at the half-yard line, and the Bills had to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. And the Vikings were still down 27-23 in the fourth. They had one timeout left. So if the Bills got some breathing room, they could run out the clock. But the thinking was here, do you take the intentional safety and do the safety kick, but then you're giving the ball back to the Vikings, and they're only down 2, and then they get into field goal range with one timeout? That's doable. So I think taking the intentional safety was stupid, or would be stupid if that the route they went on. But Kendrick's coming up with the fumble recovery for a touchdown, and as it happened in real time, I had no idea what the hell was going on, because we as Vikings fans, we don't expect good things to happen to us. So the fact that they were signaling touchdown was like, what the hell happened? But then, of course, the Bills marched down and tied it because they didn't review Gabe Davis, who got 0 feet in on one of the catches. But Vikings prevailed in OT. That's good to go. It's one of my favorite It's one of my favorite regular season games, mainly because Jefferson had an all-time great catch. Stephon Diggs in this game had probably a top 25 catch of all time, and no one remembers it because of the outcome and the ending of the game, as well as Justin Jefferson's catch. It's fantastic. Also, kind of fantastic. The Vikings, I think there's, I actually don't think that there was like legitimate interest in Nick Chubb. I think it was more, fan speculation, fancy football stuff. But Rap Sheet, Souses, Browns Frazier running back Nick Chubb, one of the most decorated players available, because there's like 6 players available, who's not on a 90-man roster right now, is expected to sign with the Texans on Monday if all goes well with his physical, sources say. Chubb's 2024 ended prematurely with an injury, but now he could return for more in Houston. And Chubb does have an opportunity. Joe Mixon is in Houston, as well as our guy Woody Marks. So, Damian Pierce as well. So I think that Chubb probably saw that as a better opportunity. And for us Vikings fans, would have been nice to have a guy like Nick Chubb, sure, but would he have accepted a running back 3 role? I mean, maybe, right? But veteran leadership. Kwesi obviously knows it from his time in Cleveland, but with Jones and Mason, feel perfectly fine. Hopefully Ty Chandler can step up as running back 3, or we'll just sign or trade for Cam Akers again for the 17,000th year in a row. That's what we do. Speaking of acquisitions, Rap Sheet again. As the Dolphins and star cornerback Jaylen Ramsey continue to work towards a trade, Ramsey's not planning to attend mandatory minicamp this week, sources say. He'll stay away as the situation works to a conclusion. No one is trading for that contract. If someone was really Jones in the trade for that contract, it would have already happened. But since it's post-June 1st, I think the Dolphins are just holding out hope to get something, but I think ultimately they'll have to cut him. I think they'll cut him because I just don't see a team giving up draft capital and then paying the bulk of that contract, $25.1 million fully guaranteed. But once he's cut, a team can sign him for the league minimum, and it offsets against what the Dolphins have guaranteed him. So Kwesi is just waiting in the weeds, man. You know what it is. Because Ramsey, the money's going to be the money. He's got that guaranteed from the Dolphins or wherever anyway. And Ramsey wants to win another Super Bowl. Why not do it here in the great state of Minnesota with Ken McConnell, who he knows and loves, with Brian Flores, who he knows and respects, and let's go. Let's get it, man. Also getting it. This is the offensive tackle portion of the show. So Christian Darrisaw spent some downtime. I'm trying to figure out where this is. Now, initially I thought it was Park Tavern in St. Louis Park, because above the lane it says STLP. Now, it could be St. Louis Park. It could be someplace in St. Paul. It could be someone with the initials ST and LP. I'd be really bad at the initials game. ST, Scott Thomas. Oh, Scott Thomas from Matchbox. Is Christian Darrisaw bowling at Matchbox 20's house? I don't know. But Darrisaw bowling. Seems like a lot of players are bowling. The defense goes bowling like every other week at the bowling place that's next to the Outlet Mall. I forget what it's called. Right, Najee Thompson, former Vikings, a bowling star now, but Darrisaw getting some time in. He's a rubber man. Don't want to get Munson out here. Don't plan on it. Also, Brian ONeill. This is glorious. This is from Brian ONeill's Instagram. So we pointed out, during the OTA videos of ONeill with some flowing locks. Like, it's almost like it's hockey tournament season up in here. Also with the new face mask, which is looking good. Also with the Cobra Commander visor, which needs to be mandatory. But the glorious flowing locks, he's good to go. Like he looks like Colin Farrell from Miami Vice, the remake. Him and Jamie Foxx. That was good. But it's like, actually no, he looks like Gordon Bombay in D2 The Mighty Ducks when he went Hollywood. And Jan, the old skate sharpened dude, is like, you just look like you got out of the shower. I don't know what that accent was. But ONeill looking good. Mr. Big Chest, Mr. Big right tackle, all pro. This is all pro hair. Lane Johnson literally has no hair. This is all pro hair for a right tackle. So we're gonna do it, man. Also, so Adam Jerome, Ezekiel Thelen, still, even though he's been gone for many years, he's still number 19 in our hearts. Close enough for power rankings. But Thelen, the pride of Mankato State University Community College. So Adam Thelen hits the gritty at the Bananas at Panther Stadium. So like Thelen, like Andy Dalton was involved in this game. Now, a lot of people have strong feelings about the Savannah Bananas. I really don't. I think that they're entertaining. I don't think that they're ruining baseball. I think that it's not really baseball. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters. It's not really basketball. I mean, it's entertainment, and they draw huge crowds. So let people enjoy things, man. Like, everything doesn't have to be that serious. But Thelen hitting the gritty, you know that Justin Jefferson has changed him for good. Right. And again, it speaks to Justin Jefferson's worldwide phenomenon. Now, I know he didn't create the gritty. La Gritty did. But I know that Jamar Chase gets an oversized amount of credit for spreading the gritty, but Jefferson has literally turned this into an international phenomenon that expands past football, amongst other sports, amongst pop culture. People love doing the gritty. It's bigger than the dab or the floss dance. I really hate that I know both those things. Anyways, good to see Thelen thriving. Still waiting on him to win a Super Bowl with the Panthers. Dude, just say you signed for the money, but I digress. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings back at mandatory minicamp this week. Vikings news up for this beautiful Monday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.